Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christy if you are new here, and today I am doing a really fun video. I am doing my 2025 favorites of Disney. We are big Disney goers in this house. We absolutely love to travel to Walt Disney World. This year in 2025, we went to Disney's Aulani resort, and we'll talk about that later. That was amazing. We go to Walt Disney World pretty much every year. I've had 2 trips to Disneyland Paris in the past year, and I just wanted to do my favorites for 2025. So grab yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea in a Disney mug if you want to. This is my Aulani one. And just get snuggly, get cozy. It's chatty, it's chaotic, but that's me. And let's talk about my favorite Disney things from 2025. And I would love you to comment back to me in the comments and let me know if you really disagree with some of them, if you really agree with them, or if you think I've missed something, because sometimes these chaotic, chatty vlogs, we miss certain things. And you think after, you think, oh my God, I wish I talked about the cheeseburger spring rolls or whatever it is. Anyway, so grab yourself a cup of coffee, get a cup of tea, a Diet Coke, whatever your drink of the day is. Get cozy because it's going to be a chatty and chaotic vlog. Okay, so let's start. Let's do a recap of what 2025 looked like for us as a family. For anyone who doesn't know, I have 4 children. I'm married to my husband, Matt. We are DVC members and we absolutely love anything Disney travel-wise. I was really fortunate last year in terms of trips, and I feel so incredibly grateful that we managed to make these things happen. I had 2 trips to Disneyland Paris, one in January, actually with a friend, which was really amazing, and just for a weekend, just a really short, fun trip. And that was before I started vlogging, so that trip isn't available on vlogs. And I then went to Walt Disney World in May with Matt and the kids, and that was the first time I think that we have been in years, like me and Matt, without family or friends. We usually tend to go with my family or friends, or we see people there, and we actually just did that by ourselves, me, Matt and the kids, and we loved it. It was probably one of my favorite Walt Disney World trips ever. And that's it was amazing. So we'll talk about that. And then I also went to Disney's Aulani in Hawaii. That was the most bucket list trip, guys. I could not believe that we went, that my kids traveled that far, that we spent all that time there. It was incredible, and I don't think I'll ever stop talking about that trip. Hence the mug I picked for today. Then me and Matt came back. We all came back from Hawaii in August and early September, I think it was. And then in October was mine and Matt's 10-year wedding anniversary. And we went to Disneyland Paris for the weekend, just me and Matt, which is something we haven't done in ever. I've never been to Disneyland Paris with Matt on our own. We have gone with the kids, we have gone with family, but we've never gone on our own. So it was I had 2 solo adult trips this year, which I never do. 2 of these are fully available vlogs for you to go and watch. The Hawaii series is live on our channel, and so is my Disneyland Paris trip with Matt. Go and watch them if you feel like a bit more Disney content from us. But they were the trips we took, and I was so fortunate that we took them. And I feel extremely grateful that we got to go on all of those trips. So let's talk about where should we start? Should I talk about food? Hang on, I wrote a list. I had a list of things that I wanted to go over with you that I thought I could talk about. Let's have a look. Okay, so let's talk trip reflections. So let's talk about May. So May, we went to Walt Disney World. We stayed in Saratoga Springs in a 2-bedroom villa, which was amazing. Saratoga Springs is our DVC home resort. We have only been DVC members since 2024, and it was later in 2024. I think it was September. So we basically had our first full year as DVC members with a full set of points, and we used them in May, and we stayed for 9 nights in total. 7 nights we stayed in the Saratoga Springs 2-bedroom villa, which was incredible. And the space, I'm going to input some footage now, but the space, let me move up a bit so you can pop it in. So here you'll be able to see the space that we had. It was so much room. The kids' room was giant, like they had so much space. We had our own bathrooms. I loved having all that space for us to move around in. Yeah, it was incredible. Then for the final part of our stay, we spent the last 2 nights at the Polynesian in studios. And again, we absolutely love the Poly. My son Mason, my eldest son, he is 9. His absolute favourite resort of all time is the Polynesian, and it was his birthday. So I not surprised them, but told them that we were staying at Saratoga Springs, and then told them really much nearer the time that I had managed to secure the Poly for him to wake up on his birthday, which was like a dream for him. And it was so lovely to be able to make that happen for him. Gave me so much joy. And he has talked about it ever since, and he would like to go there for his birthday every year. And I have told him that's not possible with school and things, but yeah, it was really magical. And we all love the Poly. Definitely has the best splash pad on property for kids that are just that, like, not baby age and they're not teenagers. They're just, my children for reference are, Mason is 9, their twins are 8 and Ellen is 6. So it's like the perfect splash pad for that middle child age. I don't like saying middle child age because A, it makes me feel old, and B, it makes me feel sad that they're not babies anymore, because I remember them running around in that splash pad when they were like this big, and that makes me really sad. Okay, so my favourite memory from that trip was we were in Epcot. It was chucking it down with rain, and we had ridden Guardians 2 or 3 times already on the trip, but we'd only got Iran. I am a September girly, like I want September, but my kids had wanted Rule the World. For like weeks leading up to the trip, we were playing it in the car. We were like manifesting that we were going to get Rule the World, and we got Iran 3 times. And I remember we were like, oh no. And then we were in Epcot. It was absolutely like Florida, torrential rain, chucking it down. And I was like, guys, we either get soaking wet and we just run and we get on it so we don't miss our pass, or we get back on the monorail and we go back to the Poly and we dry off, or we stay here and chill out and see if we can, the rain, you know, we've already ridden it 3 times, we'll probably get a song we won't want, la la la. Anyway, we decided to run. Matt took his shoes and socks off, the rain was that bad. Like, we were sprinting from, like, I think we were in Japan in the pavilion and in the World Showcase, and we were like, that's quite a run for like the chucking it down rain with us, the kids, a double buggy. Like, anyway, we ran all the way to Epcot. We were drenched. The buggy was absolutely sopping wet all the way through. I parked the buggy, we went in, and I was like, it's freezing because of the air conditioning. I was like, guys, if we get Iran or we get another song that we don't want, it doesn't matter. We've loved riding it. Like, we'd absolutely thoroughly enjoyed riding it every time because I love Guardians no matter what song we get. And I remember we were dripping wet. Matt was in the car behind me because there was 4 of us in one car, and then I think it was Matt and Ollie behind, and it shot us backwards, and it was that like, I can't even do the song, but it was the intro for Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and I screamed, Matt screamed, the kids screamed, we all like sang our hearts out the entire ride, and I was like crying happy tears. And do you know when you go round and you see like the moon in the middle? Like, me and Matt were like pointing at each other, like proper singing at each other, and oh, it was just like the best memory. Like, me and Matt said we've never had a feel like we both felt in that moment. Like, there was just so much happiness. My kids and me and Matt, we were just like, oh, it was the best moment. I've never had a moment like that. And Disney gives us all the feels all the time. I'm an emotional wreck when we're there. Like, I love it. But there was nothing quite like that. That felt incredible. And it was probably my favourite memory of the entire year. Of course, it was a Disney memory, but yeah, you can probably feel my excitement through the screen, like, because I was smiling ear to ear for days. Me and Matt still talk about it now. The song comes on, the intro to that song comes on when we're in the car, and we both look at each other like, do you remember that? I was like, the best day ever. Yeah, we loved it. It was amazing. And that was definitely probably my favourite memory of the whole entire year, was just that moment of our happy place with my family and that song. And now, as much as I love September, and I always want to hear September on Guardians, I have a new favourite, guys, and it is Rule the World. Okay, so now I've gone on about that story for ages. Like I said, it's going to be chatty and it's going to be a bit chaotic, but I hope you got the feels, and yeah, you can see how much it meant to us. So let's talk about some other favourites from that trip. So, favourite food from the trip. My favourite food from the 2025 May trip. Do you know what, Matt, I'm going to give you Matt's. He's not here, but I'm going to tell you Matt's. We were in Connections in Epcot, and it was the Flower and Garden Festival, and they had a hot honey chicken burger, and Matt says, I didn't try it, but Matt said it was the best chicken burger that he has ever had, so much so that he would book to go back at that time of year again if he could guarantee that he would get that burger. Like, he loved it that much. He said it was by far the best burger. I think I've probably got a picture. I'll try and put one up, but he said it was absolutely the best. I just love Disney food. And for me, probably the best thing I ate on that trip was, oh, it's so hard. I need to think about this. What was the best thing that I ate in that trip? I don't know. I love the Mexican in the Mexican Pavilion in Epcot. I love, what else did I love? I love the cinnamon roll from Gaston's. Like, if I'm getting anything when I'm in Magic Kingdom, that's what I'm getting. My Starbucks, there's something about having Starbucks, like, in Disney, that it's just, I don't know, like the cup with the Mickeys on, and just like, yeah, my Starbucks every day. I totally miss that. That's like, yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I ate. I'm going to come back to that question because I can't remember what my favourite food was. Favourite restaurant for the year probably was Tusker House. I love Tusker House. The kids love Tusker House. I love that brunch time because you get a little bit of lunch and you still get breakfast. So Theo can have his Simba and Nala waffles, and the kids can eat all the breakfast stuff that they like, but me and Matt can then like have some of the more like African inspired foods that come out as well, which I love. And I love the character meet and greet in Tusker House. So yeah, I would say Tusker House is probably my favourite character meal. We didn't go to any other restaurants. We just had we were there for 9 days and we did very quick service based food. I will talk more about restaurants that we've eaten in, perhaps in another video, because there aren't many on-property Disney restaurants that I haven't eaten in over the years. I know they will change, but yeah, so I could give you lots of my tops, but they wouldn't necessarily be from 2025. So I'm going to move on from that one. What else did I put on my list? Let me have a look. I could actually really do with a drink anyway. Probably my favourite show. Oh, I can't say that because Happily Ever After, Fantasmic, they're my favourite every year. That never changes. Happily Ever After played the year that my husband and I got married, and before it became Enchantment. So we got married in 2015. I think Enchantment came in, was it 2019? I'm going to Google that and check. So yeah, I love Happily Ever After, and I loved that it's back. We watched it in 24, and I remember being so emotional that it was back because I was like, oh, it's back, and I missed it. And whereas in 25, I watched it again with my kids, and my kids love it now. So that was amazing. And Fantasmic, I love Fantasmic. Like when that boat comes out and all the characters are on there waving at you. Guys, I could cry every time. I love it. Absolutely love it. Like it's my favourite. Yeah, it's my favourite thing ever. So, favourite shows, could I pick? Gun to my head. Yeah, I couldn't pick. But show that's not a nighttime show, if I put a twist there, then I would say The Little Mermaid. The new show was amazing. What else did I want to do from May? My favourite drink, actually, do you know what? My favourite drink is I just love the resort mug and like filling up my Diet Coke. And yeah, sometimes I have the vitamin water, but most of the time I just love, like, if you watch one of my favourite creators, I'll talk about her a bit later, Brianna Woodbine, she always says she needs a crispy Diet Coke. And like, that's probably one of my favourite things, is a resort mug and filled with like this much ice, and then the rest a beautiful crispy Diet Coke. So that was probably my favourite drink of the trip. What else? Any other things from the trip that I wanted to mention? No, it was just the best trip, guys. Okay, so my favourites from Aulani. Like, let's do a quick trip overview. So like I said, if you haven't already, the vlog series is available. I'll link it. You can go and watch it. We had the most incredible time. We went with like extended family. So my parents came, my siblings came, their children came, like my nieces. It was amazing. It was a really long flight, but it was like a bucket list item. And yeah, I'm so grateful that we got to go. I'm so grateful that we've been and experienced it. And yeah, it's just been crazy that we went. I'm so grateful that we went. I feel so blessed that we went. And yeah, it's something that we'll never forget. So let's talk about favourites. Let's talk about my favourite parts of Aulani. My least favourite part was how long it took to get there. We did stop in LA, and actually I'm just going to give this an honourable mention, because if you go to LA for any reason, you have to have In-N-Out Burger. Matt thinks it's really overrated, but what does Matt know? Neapolitan shake. You have to have animal fries, and you need to have the double. Like, that is just the In-N-Out order that you need. Like, it'll probably kill your arteries, guys, but like, that's the order you need. So we flew to LA, and we just stayed one night, but we did get In-N-Out, and that was like the best. It's the best. So it's definitely a top for 2025. We then flew to LA, flew to Hawaii, and we actually stayed, the first few nights we stayed in a Marriott vacation club, which is literally 2 doors down from Aulani, and then we spent 7 nights in Aulani after. So we were there for 2 weeks in total, but we spent the first week, we had 7 nights at each resort basically, but you could walk to Aulani, and let me tell you, I walked to Aulani a lot. I spent a lot of time in Aulani before we even stayed in Aulani, because I couldn't not go there, guys. There's just no way. I could see it. I could smell it. I couldn't smell it, but I could see it, and I wanted to be there. And my sister was really like, I'm waiting. I'm going to wait till we stay there. I'm going to enjoy this resort, and then I'm going to go and love Aulani and experience it. I wasn't that patient. Like, I woke up at 4 a.m. on the first day. No, I went to the gym at 4 a.m. on the first day, because there's like an 11-hour time difference, and that was tough. I went to the gym at like 4 a.m. and then walked along it's not even a running path. They're like in 3 horseshoe bays, and there's a really nice walking path all the way from the Marriott to Aulani. So I would walk along really early in the morning, that first morning, just to stare at Aulani from the outside. Like, I just needed to see it. I'm impatient. I couldn't wait. And if Matt and the kids had been with me, I would have gone in, because you could have walked in, but it was 5 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't go in without him and the kids, so I didn't, but I did walk to see it. Let's talk about favourite things in Aulani. Most like incredible beach, the water, like I'll put some pictures up, but guys, like the beach, the colour of the water, like it was incredible. And like, it was like I don't even know how to describe it to you other than like perfection, because that's what it was. The infinity pools were amazing. Looking out onto the beach, it was incredible. And I think as well, like just that feeling of like, I am here, I'm in Aulani, I'm in Hawaii, but I'm in a Disney resort. And I think my favourite, actually, do you know what? Just like scrap everything I've just said. My favourite thing about Aulani was the entrance. Like walking into a DVC feel home resort, like it felt, next door, we were in the Marriott. It was beautiful. It was the same beach, different area of the beach, different horseshoe bay, but there was the same sea and the same sand, and they were stunning. The most incredible beach, so beautiful. I was in awe. It was amazing. But the feeling you got, you just stepped onto property, the Disney property, you stepped through into the lobby. The lobby was incredible. The detail, like, guys, the lobby is amazing. Walking through it, looking out over the resort to the sea, like, I've never experienced anything like it. It was amazing. And you just walked through that door and you were like, I'm home. I'm in Disney World. Like, that is how it felt. It felt like I was in a mix of, I think I said this in a vlog actually, it was a mix of Animal Kingdom Lodge mixed with the Polynesian. That's the only way I can describe the feel of the hotel. And I just instantly was like, I'm in Disney. I just can't jump on a Skyliner or a monorail and hop to a park, but I am in Disney. And I just remember like that, I knew it would be amazing, but I remember questioning, like, is it going to feel Disney enough? Like, you're in Hawaii. They will want to honor the Hawaiian culture, which they did amazingly. The storytelling in the walls and the murals and the detail, like there was so much like nods to the Hawaiian culture, but it still had the most, I'm in a DVC resort feel and I'm at home and I'm in Disney, and I don't think you can beat that. And I just love how Disney are able to do that. Nobody else is able to do that. So yeah, it was incredible. And I've never felt so, I don't know, like wowed, because in Disney, we've been really lucky over the years and we've gone a lot and we've stayed in lots of the resorts, and I don't ever take it for granted. And the feeling I get when I walk in those doors is home. But I didn't know how they were going to do that wasn't in Disney World, because if I'm honest, Paris is wonderful, but apart from the Disneyland Hotel, they don't have the Disney feel of a Walt Disney World resort. There is a difference. I still love them. There's lots of positives. It's still Disney, but it's different. This wasn't different. This could have been next door to the Polynesian, but looking out at the Caribbean Sea. Like, it was like, I can't even, guys, it was like chef's kiss. It was amazing. So yeah, Aulani, the lobby, that Disney feel, how they did it. Yeah, the characters were everywhere. You could meet them really easily. I think I did like a tips and tricks, a resort guide on one of my videos. So I will also link that below, because if you're going or you want to go, I talk a lot about that. And because this is a favourites video, I'm going to not go too much into it. But yeah, it was probably my favourite was the lobby and the entrance and that feel. Let's talk about my favourite food in Hawaii. So my favourite food at Aulani, this is really hard because I loved the food. Do you know what I'm actually going to say? There was the Dole Whip waffle bowl, and it was like a waffle cone. I'm going to put a picture in. It's a waffle cone. It had like chocolate and Mickey sprinkles around the top, and then you could have a Dole Whip in the middle of it. You could have a swirl if you wanted to. I used to get the Dole Whip swirl, and then you would have like a white chocolate character, Moana, Stitch, Mickey. Moana, Stitch, Mickey. Was there a fourth one? I think we had them all. And it was incredible. Like having it in the waffle bowl, someone's going to tell me that I'm wrong, but I have never had it in the waffle bowl anywhere in Disney World. Like, I've had it as floats, I've had it in a cone, but I've never had a waffle bowl like that with the Mickey sprinkles and the chocolate. It was amazing. My favourite meal that I had was probably Off the Hook for breakfast. Off the Hook was a sit-down meal for lunch and dinner, but quick service for breakfast in Aulani. Ulu Caf was the main quick service area, but then they also had Off the Hook. So you would have to sit in for dinner and for lunch, and it was off a menu. And we went there for dinner, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But quick service for breakfast, the waffles, the Mickey waffles were amazing. My mum had the nicest like avocado toast, but it had like feta and like onions. I'll put some pictures up here of the breakfast that we had. I loved Off the Hook for breakfast. But then also they had the smoothie bowls, what do they call acai bowls? Acai bowls. I'm not very good with words, guys. Acai bowls. They also had those over at Ulu Caf, and they were also amazing. Oh, guys, I can't pick. And there was also the character breakfast. We didn't do it. Mostly because of cost. We've done so many character breakfasts before. We were meeting the characters anyway, and we did the luau, and the luau was, I'll talk about that, but very expensive. Like for 6 of us, it was over $900. I think it was $960 for us to go. So that's why we didn't do both, because we are a average family, guys, and those things are not achievable to do all of it, and you have to make sacrifices, and that was one that we made. So we didn't do the character breakfast, but I have heard great things, and we did walk past it all the time, and it looked lovely. Let me know below if you've ever been. I'm sure it was amazing. If you were to ask my kids what their favourite food was in Aulani, without a doubt, they wouldn't even take a breath, and they would all shout the Mickey shaved ice. Like that iconic Mickey shaved ice. They loved it. They loved choosing different flavours and different toppings. They had it to share several times. They had one each one day. I promised them if they'd come on a walk, they could have one each. So they did, and that was amazing. They loved it. Favourite thing to do in Aulani, this is different because it's not like a park. You can't be like, oh, it was the ride. They had amazing water slides and a wonderful splash pad for the kids. The characters, there was pin trading, there was just everything you expected to find in a Disney resort here. There was like a treasure hunt, there was DVC parties, like there were so many things. What was my favourite? What was my favourite? Honestly, like this is just me, but my favourite thing was just walking around the resort, like with Matt. The kids would go to Kids Club. They loved the Kids Club, by the way. They would say that was their favourite thing in Aulani. They absolutely loved the Kids Club. It was really hard to get in. Watch the video below if you need to know how to get your kids into that Kids Club. But they had a slot to go every day. And when they would go, it would be like the Kids Club was at like 10. So me and Matt would go for brunch. Like we'd get some breakfast at Off the Hook, or we'd go for a walk around. And yeah, my favourite thing was just to walk around the resort. Just to like, I don't know, look at all the detail, see the beach, have a drink, chat with Matt, be like in awe that we were there. Like it's probably my favourite top 5 memories of 2025 was just being in Aulani. It was just, yeah, it was incredible, guys. It was incredible. One of the best trips we've ever taken, and I can't recommend going enough. It has every Disney element that you need and more. It was like go, 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 go. That's all I'm going to say. Next trip that we went on was the Disneyland Paris trip, which was just me and Matt. It was insanely strange to have gone just me and Matt, because we've never gone without the kids. Me and Matt are somebody who, I don't know, our family's like the most important thing to us, and we spend all our time with our children. And when Matt suggested going, like just us, I was like, oh, I don't know. And funny enough, we actually booked the flights when we were in Aulani. We didn't tell anyone. We were just sat for brunch one day and we were just saying, like, when we go home, it was near the end of the trip, we get such Disney blues, and I am a menace for this. Like, I have to book a trip while I'm on a trip. Like, I can't go home with an end date. It's a problem I have, guys. I know it needs fixing. I can't fix it. I can't come home from a trip knowing there isn't another trip very soon, or even if not soon, but like, I know there's one. It helps me with the Disney blues situation, which, guys, if you know, you know, like, we suffer with Disney blues, don't we, girls? Like, guys, everyone, like, do you suffer with Disney blues? Because I can't cope with the Disney blues. So we were sat there, like, looking out over the sea, like, we were sat by the adult bar and we were chatting and we just had a look, and the flight price was ridiculously cheap. I was half term, so I would have been off of work anyway. And we were like, it's just the weekend. It's our 10-year wedding anniversary. We never do anything like this. Matt was like, let's go. And I was like, oh, I don't know. We sat and he was like, I've just booked the flights, so we're going. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, we're going. And I was like, oh my God. So it was incredible to like know that we had something to look forward to. It really helped with those Disney blues when we got back. And I was nervous nearer the time, like the night before. I was crying. Said goodbye to the kids. They stayed at my mum's that night before because we had to be at the airport really early the next day, and I was like crying, and I was like, Matt, I don't want to go. Let's not go. I can't leave them. I feel so guilty. Like, I don't want to do it. And then he was like, it's going to be fine. You're okay. Like, we can do this. He was like very brave. I was not so brave. And then we got to the airport and I felt like better. And then I had a drink. I had Starbucks, and we started to just relax into me and Matt, and it was just the most incredible trip. It was 100% in my top memories from last year and beyond, because we don't get to be Matt and Christy very often, and I loved it. I loved it just being me and him and in our happy place. And Disneyland Paris for Matt is definitely not Matt's favourite. Like, he loves Walt Disney World. He loves Aulani, the Disney cruise. I haven't talked about cruise because we didn't go on one last year, but the Disney cruise has our hearts and it has Matt's everything. Like, I'm split between Disney World and Disney cruise, and I love them both equally. It's like my children. I couldn't choose, but Matt is firmly in the cruise. Like, that's his favourite thing in the world, is a Disney cruise. So he loves that, and he loves Walt Disney World, and he loved Aulani, and he loves, but Paris is not his favourite. And I was really surprised how much he enjoyed it. I think he was surprised how much he enjoyed it being just us in like our Disney bubble, and how, I don't know, I loved it, guys. We rode the new Big Thunder Mountain. We rode everything. We watched Pixar together. I loved that show. Matt fell asleep, so wasn't on his favourites. No, he was just tired. We were just us in our Disney bubble. It was Halloween, so it was spooky season, and we got to see all the decorations, and I love all the Coco spooky season vibes. I'm going to put some pictures up here because the scenery in Disneyland Paris for spooky season is so cool and so different to like Florida spooky season. And we go to Florida at that time of year all the time. We're so used to the Walt Disney World Halloween decorations, and they're so different in Paris. I've just popped some like pictures up here of just different types of decor that we saw. And yeah, on Halloween night, the whole castle went green with lights and like purple smoke, and it was really cool. It was for me, spending that time with Matt was so refreshing, and I just got to be with him and hold his hand all the time, and like just, I don't know, queue for a ride and chat like we used to do years ago, pre the kids, and I don't know, it was a dream. I absolutely loved it, and I was really surprised. I missed the kids, of course we did, and there was moments we were both like, oh, look at them with their kids, and we miss our kids, and we miss them so much. But it was really refreshing and wonderful to just be in a Disney resort. We stayed at Sequoia Lodge. I don't even know if I've mentioned that. We stayed at Sequoia Lodge. And for anyone who knows, Sequoia Lodge is definitely in need of a refurb, and it is being done this year. But I still love when it's cold. It's got a really lovely like woodland vibe. It's, for anyone who doesn't know, it has a kind of a wilderness lodge feel, just on a much smaller scale. But it's very much that wood cabin type feel, that woodland kind of feel. But you're right on the lake around the other hotels. So you're next to the Marvel Hotel and you're next to Newport Bay, and you can walk up through Disney Village, which I loved. And the shopping in Disney Village, guys, has come on so much. Like a few years ago, apart from World of Disney and the odd little Disney toy store and stuff that was extra, there wasn't loads there, but the new Disney stores, and they're like adult-based Disney stores as well, which I love, like their decor store, the fashion store, but it's all Disney. Like, yeah, I saw some incredible pieces and things that I absolutely would love, but don't spend money on, because I spend my money on going on these trips, so balance. But I loved to look anyway. And the World of Disney is probably one of my favourite shops. World of Disney, it's called the World of Disney there, right? Yeah, it's called the World of Disney there. No, it's called the World of Disney and Disney Springs. Are they both called the World of Disney? I need to check that. I don't know if they're both called the World of Disney. My favourite thing that I drank when we were at Disneyland Paris, for me, it was actually to have a glass of wine. Like, I don't drink that much anyway, but when we're in Disney, I don't ever really have, unless we're on the cruise, I don't really have an alcoholic drink. But it was so nice to go like hotel hopping and go to the hotel bars, and it'd just be me and Matt and sit there and have like a glass of wine, or Matt would have a beer, or sometimes he'd have wine. Like, it was really nice to have that like adult trip, that adult things that we don't always do with the kids. What's my favourite food I ate in Paris? I can't think. What was my favourite? I really liked they call it a beignet. It's not a beignet. It's just a big Mickey-shaped donut, but it was really full of like a Nutella chocolate spread. That was really nice. I had, what else did I have? I can't remember what else I had. The hot chocolate. When it was cold, to go and get a hot chocolate, oh, it was amazing. I loved it. I won't have anyone tell me otherwise. There is nothing better than being cold in Disneyland Paris and walking around with a hot chocolate in your hands and like just taking in the vibes, especially when it goes from that, like, it's not nighttime, it's like that dusk and all the lights are coming on, but you can still see the sunset. Like, yeah, that is the one. I was just thinking about food in Disneyland Paris, and probably my favourite thing that I ate in Disneyland Paris, I did just mention the beignet, which was lovely, but my favourite place that we ate was actually, it was just outside of Disneyland Paris. You literally walk through the security. I think it's called Valpino's. It's an Italian. I had the nicest fresh chicken arrabbiata pasta, and Matt had ordered a fresh, they like make it all fresh, it was really nice, pizza. I'll put some pictures here, and I loved it so much so that we actually went back the second day for the dinner before we left to fly home, because we really loved it. It was, yeah, wonderful. I really enjoyed it. It was just fresh, and it just didn't feel like Disney food. Sometimes, you know, when you've had like lots of like theme park food, and especially in Paris, because it's just not the same. Walt Disney World, I could eat the food all the time and there are so many options, and Paris really lacks that. So probably my favourite thing I ate in Paris in 2025 was, a sweet treat would have been the beignet, and my favourite meal was the pasta at Valpino's. Yeah, that was epic. Let me just see what else I had on my list, because I had a list of things. So trip reflections we have done, and I have done my like top favourite things from the trips. I've done my favourite food and my favourite drinks. Couple of other favourite things that I wanted to do was Okay, so my favorite Disney films and shows that came out in 2025. So my favorite film that I watched was the Lilo and Stitch live action. I didn't expect loads from it. I do love Lilo and Stitch. It's just not one of my most like favorite Disney films. I loved the live action, and I think because it came out the year we were going to Aulani and you could see Aulani in the film, it was a magical like film. I loved it. The kids loved it. We've watched it loads since. And yeah, it just reminds me, or forever remind me of that trip. It was played on the aeroplane as well, which was so nice because the kids could watch it, and I think they all watched it while we were flying out to Hawaii. And I love that with Virgin. They've always got the best film selection. Disney Plus series, I really like Tracker. For people who don't know what Tracker is, he is a guy he's like a lone wolf, and he is like a bounty hunter, kind of, and he goes and like looks for missing people, or like, I don't know, something's happened and someone needs to find somebody, and they pay him to do it. And it's a really good series. It's like not too scary, because me and Matt are wimps, so it's not too scary, but it has got that like crime element to it. So I really recommend that. We really like it. My favourite TV programme of the whole of 2025 that I have to give a mention to, because it reminds me of the trips of the summer anyway. So I'm linking it to that, but it's not Disney, although I wish Disney had done it on Disney Plus because Amazon did it, but was The Summer I Turned Pretty. Guys, I didn't think, like, there was a lot of hype about it before. I'd never watched it. I downloaded it to watch it on my flights this year, and by the time we'd done 2 flights, I was halfway through, and then by the time we got home from Hawaii, I had like the last few episodes to go, and what a series. Like, oh my God, I loved it. Did you? I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I don't think I expected to like it as much as I did. I was totally hooked. And like, guys, I'm 34. I was 33 when I was watching it. Just a tiny bit younger makes it better. But yeah, I think it was like a teen like thing. I thought it was for teenagers, and no, I was one of those 30-year-old women sat there watching it because I absolutely bloody loved it. It was great. So that was my favourite series of the year. This was good. I wanted to do my top parks for the year, and I'm going to do it in order of all the parks that we visited. I'm not going to include Aulani because it wasn't a park, but I'm going to do the 2 Disneyland Paris parks and the 4 Walt Disney World park. I'm not actually going to put the water parks in because we didn't visit the water parks in May, so I'm just going to do the 4 main parks in Walt Disney World and the 2 parks in Disneyland Paris, and I'm going to put them in order of my favourite for 2025, okay? I just want to specify this. This is not my all-time favourite. This was my favourite for 2025. My first favourite, purely because of Guardians. I loved, and it was my first ever time at Flower and Garden Festival because I am usually there for food and wine. So it was really nice to be there for a different, what do you call it? A different theming. There's a word and my brain's not working. But Epcot. And I can't believe I'm saying that because I usually would not put Epcot in my top 3, let alone the top of top. But Guardians, Flower of Garden Festival, just Epcot. I felt like I was really in my Epcot era. So much so that some of my plans for 2026, which I'm not giving too much away yet because there's a whole video going to come on that at some point, but I wanted to make sure that in some of my resort stay, I am closer to Epcot, and that doesn't normally factor in. So yes, Epcot was number 1. My second favourite park, I would say, of the trip was, it has to be Magic, because Magic Kingdom is the holy grail of parks, and not for the rides, just for the vibes. Like, just the walk down Main Street. You can't beat it. That first time I see the castle, the first tear I want to shed as I'm walking down Main Street, holding my children's hand, like every time. It just has to be, it can't be anything else. Third is Animal Kingdom. I love Animal Kingdom. My children love Animal Kingdom. We love Avatar, the ride, and my son is Avatar crazy. He loves Avatar. In fact, I went to see the Avatar film with him this week, and I'd never watched 1 and 2 all the way through. The film was great, by the way. So the safari, and for the first time ever, I always do Animal Kingdom in the morning. We always go in the morning. It's just what we do. We've always done it. This time I said to Matt, like, I really wanted to do the evening and be there till close for Animal Kingdom. I'd never done that. Maybe when I was younger, I can't remember. But in my adult memories, I don't ever remember being at Animal Kingdom till close. And that is what I wanted to do. And we did. And I loved it. We were the last people of the day to ride the safari. We were the final car, and that was so fun to be the final car of the day. There was something really special about that. And by the time, because the safari is quite a long ride, by the time we got off the safari, there was no one else there. Like, we walked out of the park with hardly anyone there. We stopped to take some really nice photos, and there's like nothing cooler than walking through an empty park. I can't name a cooler thing than like feeling like you're the only people in a Disney park. Like, that's amazing. So we did that, and that was really cool. So that's my third. Number 4 then for me is Hollywood Studios. I nearly said the Disneyland Paris park, but no. Hollywood Studios because the boys rode Rock and Roller Coaster. So Theo had never ridden it before. Ollie had ridden it in 24, but the boys rode, all the boys. Ellen's too short. She will be big enough soon. But and I knew it was probably the last time that they would get to ride it as Rock and Roller Coaster before it changes. So that was really cool. And I love Toy Story Land. The boys love Star Wars Land. I'm not really bothered by Star Wars at all, but I really appreciate the level of detail in Star Wars. So in Galaxy's Edge. So yeah, and the Rise of Resistance ride, I think, is incredible. For a non-Star Wars watching, no interest in Star Wars girly, I love that ride. Like, it's so immersive. There's nothing like it. I do think it's one of the best rides. But one of my favourite all-time rides is Mickey and Minnie's, and that, of course, is in Hollywood Studios. So, and I love Tower of Terror. The list could go on. It definitely gets my number 4 spot. In fact, could I move it up? No, gets my number 4. Number 5 is the Disneyland Paris park, because I love the castle. I think she's slightly small. They really should have made her bigger. Considering she was the newest castle of the parks that I've visited, she does seem smaller. She's not Disneyland California small, but she's smaller. But she's beautiful. Like, she is a very beautiful castle. And there is something really magical about that park. I really, really love the feel of being in Main Street, and yeah, I love the Disneyland Hotel. I think actually the Disneyland Hotel, and walking through there and walking under it into the park, it's probably got one of my favourite entrances to a park. I love that, except for Magic Kingdom, but I really love the entrance to that. Then I guess last, that is the sorry, I had to take my sunglasses off my head because I really didn't need them on. So my final park is the Walt Disney Studios park, and I feel really mean for saying this because they're making so many improvements that it definitely needed, and I think it will be amazing, and I think it's going to go right up my list eventually, but for right now it is at the bottom. But soon there will be like Frozen World and the World of Frozen, and there's going to be a Lion King ride, and my son Theo has been obsessed with the Lion King since he was a little boy. He was 18 months old and he was obsessed with it, and he has continued that obsession his whole life. He's 8 now and he has all the Lion King pins. Well, he doesn't have all of them, but he collects them wherever we go. He has every Lion King teddy that Disney have ever sold, and even mine from when I was little. He has got the popcorn buckets. He wears, if I see a Lion King clothing or anything, I have to get it for him. For Christmas, he actually got like a baby, like I'm talking like toddler plate, spoon and bowl set, just because I saw it and it had Lion King on it and I knew he'd love it, and he did love it. So I think that will really change for us as a family, that it's closer to us to be able to go to, and I think it will become a really like staple park for us eventually, but there's a few years in that yet. So that's my like roundup of my parks for 2025. And guys, I know this like it's going to be a long chatty vlog, so I am sorry if it's going on a bit long. I'm nearly done, I promise, but I hope you're enjoying it, and I'm sorry for any chaos. So I've done my top parks, I've done my top rides, we've done the top films and TV series. Okay, this is my final 2 things. So my favorite YouTube and Instagram. So I love finding a creator and that shares my love of Disney, but also then I tend to like obsess over them, and I really like to watch everything that they do. And I've got a few accounts that I love and I watch all the time, mostly Disney, but some of them do sort of like Disney and lifestyle, or they're like a bit of a comfort creator. So I just wanted to mention like a couple that I love to watch, and I'm going to tag them below. My favourite creator find of 2025 has actually been Brianna Woodbine. She is an American vlogger, and she does a lot of Disney content. Her and her husband have just got married. They went on the Disney cruise on the Treasure this year, and I loved watching that because the Treasure is definitely on my list. She does lots of Disney videos, but she also does a little bit of like lifestyle and home, and I really love that comfort creator. I have watched her loads this year, and I think she will be next year probably like the top of my YouTube roundup list. I think it will be her that's up there, because I've watched her loads and I really enjoyed watching her. Pixie Dusted Mum, I have watched forever. Her children are slightly younger than mine, but one of her daughters is the same age as mine. And I actually met her once in Animal Kingdom, and they were so lovely as a family. And she's given me some really helpful tips over the years on her channel. And I just love her innocent Disney enthusiasm. And yeah, they're really different creators, some of these, and I love them for different reasons. So Pixie Dusted Mum is one of my favourites. She's not really a 2025 find, but she's a 2025 top creator that I watch. I have recently, this is a new find for me, was R0. They do lots of Disney cruise vlogs, and I absolutely love anything Disney cruise, and the kids love watching them too, because they have got 2 boys and a little girl, and we're 3 boys and a girl, and the kids really relate to them. I love watching them. They do mostly Disney content, a few other bits, but a lot of it's Disney, and I've really enjoyed watching them this year. I am going to link them all below, by the way, guys, so that you can look and find them if you want to. One of my all-time favourites, who I watch religiously, no matter whether she's in Disney or she is in, I don't know, wherever she might be, or whatever they're doing, or whether they're doing home stuff, but probably one of my favourite creators of the year and of every year is Brogan Tate. I watch her and Benji. Brogan and Benji are like a comfort watch for me and Matt, because trying to find vloggers that we both love isn't always easy. And this is if I want to watch a vlog and Matt's not in the mood to watch a vlog, if I say it's Brogan and Benji, then I can watch it, and that's excellent news for me. So Brogan and Benji are definitely one of my favourites. Adventures by Nap, I have watched for years. They are mostly Disney trip content posters. They tend to post mostly when they have done trips. There are the odd few like home vlogs and stuff, which I really love when they do them, but They are huge Disney Cruise Line fans, just like us. And I love to watch them, and my children love to watch them. So that's a really good like family vlog that we tend to watch together. So I will link them below. I do a cruise creator because I find Disney cruise content is harder to come by. There's so much Walt Disney World, and because we love Disney cruising, I'm actually going to mention my friend Annie. I'm going to pop her up here as well. She does so many cruises. Like, I am so jealous. I wish I could be on the boat as much as she is on the boat with her family. I love her cruise vlogs. We watch them all the time, and she's been on so many boats. They stayed concierge for a transatlantic cruise this year, and it just put it straight up to my like bucket list trips. So yeah, absolutely go and watch Annie's cruise vlogs because they are also amazing. So they are a couple of my favourite creators from 2025, things that I've watched most, and I actually watch that more than I watch any telly. Like, you'll find me listening to Disney podcasts, Disney cruises, Disney vlogs, Disney. That's just what I do. We're a Disney girl. That's what I love. And yeah, that's just me. And finally, just like a big thank you from me, because I am so grateful for anybody who has watched any of my videos throughout the last few months. I put my first actual vlog series out in September. I think it was the middle of September, maybe the beginning of September. And I've done it for 3 months now. I have loved it. I really love long form content, and I just think YouTube is the platform that I really want to succeed on. So if you don't already, then please do, because I'm new to YouTube and I don't have a huge following. It would mean the actual world to me if you could like and subscribe and turn on those bell notifications, or hype the video, or anything that you could do. Just comment, like, anything that you could do to support me, because I absolutely love making these YouTube videos, especially when it's Disney and travel based. But let me know below if there's anything that you would like to see, what you would like me to do, any videos that you would love to see from us, because we've got lots coming up in 26. And just to give you a bit of a nugget, I have got cruises. Did you hear that? I said cruises. Did I say cruises or did I say cruise? And Walt Disney World trips planned for 2026, and it's going to be a good year for us, very Disney filled year, and I'm so excited to actually do like our first full Walt Disney World vlog series, because we did the Hawaii series and I loved it. Disneyland Paris was very short and sweet, but I am so excited to do our future vlogging for Walt Disney World in 2026. There's loads to come, so please do like hit that subscribe, do what you can. I'd love to have you here. But thank you so much for listening to this. It's gone on for ages. It's been chatty. I hope you had a cup of tea while you watched it, or like a Diet Coke and some snacks, and I hope that you've loved it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and if you made it to the end, put a boat emoji. Just love to know who's made it to the end of the video. Again, sorry if it was chatty and chaotic, but I've just loved it. I've loved chatting to you. I've loved hanging out with you. I've really enjoyed myself, and I need to stop talking because I'm still talking. So I will catch you in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.